That's kind of how I think. And one of the things that I was thinking about is, we were talking earlier, is like, do you discipline your children, like different genders or different sex differently, right? We have all boys. And so I am thinking about obviously age and about personality type to some degree. Like, do I approach them differently? But like, do you think about, because you had daughters and, me, three girls, um, did you approach that differently? And then I think on the other hand, right, you also blended family. When you came in, mom had two older sisters, and then Michaela and I came later. And so, did you approach how you disciplined my two older sisters differently, Sharice, than Michaela and I, and maybe how that played into your thinking
Right.
when that was
Yeah.
when that was new, right? You just get married; these are now your kids.
Right.
Is it like, all right, y'all, this is my program,
Right.
or did that, you kind of have to grow into that?
Yeah. Yeah. That's good questions because I think in a blended family, there's a different type of dynamic. For ours, it was really easy. It wasn't very difficult. Ardella was basically the person that handled the discipline. She really was. We talked about it, and I backed her up. Hey, I got you back on whatever you decide to do. I got you. And when things didn't go the way that she wanted, and she was trying something and it wasn't working, and she said, "Come to me." I'm like, "Okay, well, this is this is what I would do. If it
Yeah.
comes to me now, this is you're asking for my opinion. I'm saying this is what we need to do." And so we would discuss that. But whatever it was, we would go back and we would have a united front. Usually with teenagers, their biggest thing is that I want to go out. I want to be with my friends. I want to spend the night. I want to do all these things. And we were like, no,
Mhm.
this is our rules. This is why we're doing it. And therefore, you can't do it. So they would try to, most teenagers are going to try to come up with ways that they can do things. I'm just using this as an example. When it comes to
Yeah.
discipline, the biggest thing for teenagers is, I want to go hang out with my friends. And our thing is,
Mhm.
we don't know all your friends. We want to know who their parents are. We want to know them so we'll know who you're hanging out with. Because
Yeah.
some parents might have this not have the same, I guess, viewpoint,
Values. Yeah.
lifestyle as ours. They might do things that we don't approve of, we don't do in our home. So we just want you to be around people that have some of the same values that we have. That's what we're trying to do.
Hmm.
And with those kind of decisions, that mean that even some family members, we were like, you can't. We don't want you to spend a whole lot of time with that family member because we know they're doing things, drinking, smoking that we don't do, and we don't want you exposed to that.
Hmm.
That's what you're trying to say. And of course, your teenagers are wanting to be around the very people that you're trying. We're,
Yeah.
you'll get a chance to do that. Just right now, no.
Yeah.
But you're trying to set some boundaries, and that's going to be the biggest thing. How do you set the boundaries and then enforce the boundaries? So again, Ardell and I always talked about it ahead of time, and then when we follow them consistently trying to go around that, we're going to the mall. Oh, and then they say they're going to the mall, and then next, there's somewhere else. So it's like, I
Yeah.
thought you said you were going to the mall. Oh,
Yeah.
we decided to no. The ideal is that you do what you say you're going to do. So because you didn't do what you said you was going to do, now you can't go to the mall for the next 2 weeks or next month. So we would
Hmm.
do different things based on what that kid is doing.
Yeah.
Different kids, whether they're boy or girl, when they're challenging your authority, that's what's happening. A lot of times they're just saying, I hear what you're saying. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I want to do what I want to do. And so if you don't let me do what I want to do, I'm going to do it anyway. And if I get caught, oh well, I get caught. But if
Yeah.
I don't get caught, I'm gonna keep doing it. So that's just how teenagers think. I mean, most of them. Now
Yeah.
you get a
I mean,
few teenage,
kids. That's
huh?
kids. That's
They're kids.
kids.
They're trying to get away with
That's
it, right? So that's how
my
they're
my
gonna.
little ones do that. Yeah.
That's how they're gonna roll until you set some boundaries and some conditions in place. Say, if you do that, this is gonna happen. You might do it, but if you get caught, these are consequences. And this,
Yeah.
all you got to do is basically tell them what you're gonna do
Hmm.
and then do it. Now, if you
Yeah.
tell them you're going to spank them or you tell them you're going to put them time out, whatever you decide you're going to do, you got to follow through so that they'll know you mean business. That's my thinking. Whether it's a boy or a girl, whatever you tell them you're going to do, These are the rules. If they're not following the rules, this is what's going to happen, and do it. Don't get soft and say, yeah, they convince you not to do what you said you're going to do. You're going to have issues because they now know that they can basically break your armor. It's like, I can
Mm-hmm.
break them down. I can get them to change their mind. It's like, no, we've already discussed this as parents. We agree on this, and this is what's going to happen. We're not changing our mind on this. You're not going to. Now we could go back and we could change our mind, but you're not going to be the
Yeah.
person, as the
Take
child
them.
changing them. That's not going to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
That's how we approached it. Again, Ardella was the disciplinarian in the of the two of us because she was with the kids, you guys daily. I was out working most of the time. So when I come in, it's either she handled it or if she couldn't handle it. It was if y'all were giving her grief.
Wait,
Okay, it's
wait till
on.
dad gets home. Wait till your father gets
It's
home.
grief.
Yeah.
When I get
I
that's
remember
it.
those.
I'm
I
like,
remember those days.
what you giving your mom grief? Wait a minute,
Yeah.
this is the woman I love. What
Yeah.
do you know what's going to happen to you? You mess with this woman, that kind of thing. So they need to see that bond with you, knowing that it's us against you. You know this. Mom and dad they're together on this, and
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing you can do in discipline is to show your kids you love them, but at the end of the day, mom and dad, are in your corner,
Yeah.
but they're together on this. That's the
So when you were saying, I know how you all had it, and you were saying mom was sort of like the day to day sort of disciplinarian, and you would come in sort of like last resort. We go into that. Do you feel obviously that was your agreed upon approach? I know some people have talked about like, oh, like the man should do that, like he should be the one that disciplines. The mom doesn't really do that sort of thing because she shouldn't be that person. But I wonder if there was like, was it because she was there day to day and they needed to have somebody that's going to be doing that, and you want to feel like there's this next level, like, hey, if it gets to this level, this is what's going to happen, as opposed to, dad doing discipline all the time. I don't know if you saw any trade-offs or benefits, or if there was a real discussion about that in particular.
yeah. Because what's really interesting as you're talking about this, I think Ardella's approach was always wanting to talk to you about what's going on. We and so she's gonna talk. She's gonna communicate. Make sure you understand. This is what we want. This is what we're not getting. And so once she's done that, I mean, talking is done. It's like we talk to you. You keep doing it. This is still happening. So now it's like, okay, they're not listening. So how do we get this child to accept these boundaries, without breaking their spirit? And when you're dealing with teenagers, you're gonna have to be very creative because you spend a lot of time on your knees. Just Lord, give me the wisdom. What do I do with this kid?
Yeah.
But at that point, it has to be more. It can't just be a conversation. You've had multiple conversations now, and that's not working with this kid. This kid is like, we could talk tomorrow. If it's always going to be talking, I'm going to do it again, because we're just talking. They know it ain't nothing's going to happen. Are you taking away some of the privilege? What are you doing to get their attention? It makes this is real, Discipline doesn't have to be physically putting your hand on a kid. It could be taking something from them that they love to do. There's something coming up they want to go to. Guess what? You know that event that's coming up. Guess who's not going to that? What do you mean I can't? Because of your behavior, you're not ready for that. And then now, maybe I need to think about my behavior. Yes, you do. So whatever it is, make sure that again, parents are, whoever's there with the kid. I think when it comes to discipline too, that it should be immediate. You shouldn't be like, wait till 2 weeks, your dad come on, we're going to do, no, they did something right now and then. The discipline should be right there and then, as soon as possible. Not 2 weeks, later, when your dad, it should be immediate. Now, if it's something that has to wait, we've had the conversation, not working, oh yeah, we're going to have we're not done with this. Life goes on, but we're going to be dealing with this later on that day because we're all going to sit down. I think you'll have many of those kind of conversations. And when that conversations come, there's going to be some things put in place because now we got to really work with you, set some boundaries. We're going, we need to get your
Hmm.
attention. No more TV, no more this. You need to be writing.
Yeah.
I want an essay on what's going on in your
Oh
brain.
my
Tell me what's
gosh.
going on. I need to
I
know why
hated
you
that.
thinking like this.
I hated essays. Those were the worst
Yeah.
because you put a page limit on it, or like a not a limit, but you put a minimum. And so it was like, I want at least 10 pages. You told me 10 pages on why I need to tell my parents where I'm going before I go. Because I was supposed to be at a friend's house, or maybe I was supposed to be at home, and I ended up going to a friend's house in the neighborhood, just around the corner. Somebody I play with all the time. I was over there
No, no,
playing
no. That
basketball.
was no. It wasn't in our neighborhood. It was in a school neighborhood. You went to this
No, it
kid
wasn't. No,
over
it was in our
in.
neighborhood.
Okay.
No, it
You're
wasn't.
talking
But
about.
here's the thing. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Are you talking about? In my mind, I remember
Okay.
an instance where there was a kid near the school that you used like to go over. When you get out of school, instead of coming, you would go over to
Okay,
this
no, that's
kid's
that's a
house,
different no,
hang
that's a
out. Oh,
different
that's a
one.
different
That's a
kid.
different one. That's a different no, that was a different time. No, that's a different experience. I'll get back to that one. I'll get back to that one too. No,
Okay.
this was the essay. The essay was I went to a friend's house in the neighborhood, and what happened was I went inside the house. So normally we're outside playing basketball in their driveway or whatever. Anytime this
Okay.
time we went inside the house. I hadn't told y'all because y'all weren't home. And so I'd gone over to the house. I think y'all were looking for me. Drove by the house, didn't see me out there. So we're like, where is Michael? I come home hours later. And you're like, where have you been? And I was like, I was at my friend's house. We went by there. We didn't see you. Oh, we had gone inside. You can't just be going places, not telling anybody. We can't find you. So that was 10-page essay on why you need to tell your parents where you're going. Didn't leave a note, didn't do anything like that, right? And so 10 pages is a lot. That's a lot of words. And you can't BS 10 pages. You can BS 3 pages. You can't BS 10 pages on that topic. And so I think I got to like 5, 6 and was just like stuck for 4 pages. And it was like, you can't do nothing till you finish it. And I
Oh
think
man.
after like a week or two, you're just like, all right, I guess so. Like, because it was like, come home, go finish your essay.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like, I can't come up with anything else. So that
That's
was that. That
funny.
was that time. That was that
That's
time. The other
funny.
time, what you're thinking of was the time I went to my friend's house after school. I was supposed to go to mom's classroom after school.
And why did you?
Ended up going to
Yeah,
his house
right.
because
You.
mom. I remember everything. So here's what was going on. Here's what was going on. Mom had it was on a Wednesday. I promise I know the day because mom had she had staff meeting or faculty meetings on Wednesday afternoons. And so she was not in her classroom. I knew that. She was going to be in faculty meeting until 4 or 4:15. I get out of school at 3. I'm walking back, I was in middle school at the time, walking back to the school where the elementary school that she taught at. My friend and he lived right past the school. So he was like, "Hey, you want to come over to my house and hang out for a little bit?" I was like, "I could probably stay till about 4, because then I got to get back before mom gets back,
Right,
but she's
right,
not going to be here."
right.
So I go there, I'm back by 4, everything's good, right? This time, we go to his house, we're hanging out, jumping on a trampoline. He's got a dog. Dog gets out the house. He was like, his dog's very protective, whatever. Dog gets out the house, comes, bites me in the back. Now we've got to disclose where I was and how I got bit by a dog and how I wasn't where I was supposed to be. So that was what was going on. But yeah, that was a different time, and that was that experience.
Why? And parents set boundaries. It's because parents they think about you getting hurt doing something. They just want to make sure that if something happens, they're aware.
Yeah,
And it catch them off guard when it's something totally come like, what? Why is he even? We what's going on? Why is he even there? So that makes them feel like they're not parenting. They're not. They don't know where their kids are. Their kids are
yeah,
off
yeah,
doing something, and something happens. It's like you didn't know where your kid is. No, I don't know. He's supposed to be here. And
yeah,
so that's one of the parenting greatest fears that they can't find their kid. Their kid get hurt when they're not there, and they just don't. That's like
yeah.
you're negligent as a parent.
Sure, sure.
And so for parents, that's a big deal. It's huge. It's in their brain. It's like, oh my goodness, what are we going to do
Yeah,
now? And so we got to come up with ways that we can make these kids understand how serious it is that we know where they are at all times. And for some reason, for teenagers, it's like they never want you to know what they're doing. They want to be doing how they got this other life that they're going on, and that
Yeah.
happens. That's reality. I mean, I was a kid
Yeah.
once. I get it.
Yeah.
So we're trying to just help this kid. You're gonna get a chance to do more and more as you get older. You'll get there, but not now.